It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on the airwaves.
Yep.
And this is episode 193.
You already know what the motherfucking business is and what it do, what it is. It's the motherfucking ambition hour.
Hello, everyone, and welcome yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and I am so grateful to be here for the 193rd time in a row.
Goddamn.
That's crazy. We're only 7 away from 200. Thank you so much for anybody who has been tuning in since day one, and if you have not, hello and welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for anybody who has tuned into the last couple of episodes that we have dropped. Took a little break for Christmas, but we're back now to end the year right with you guys. So we're going to start the episode how we normally started, and that is saying what we are grateful for. We're going to change things up a bit, especially since the last episode of the year. So, Hav, what are you the most grateful for in 2021?
Shit, what I'm most grateful for this year in 2021? Fuck, what a loaded question. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking about what I was grateful for.
This week.
Shit. Huh?
I was like, you were thinking for this week.
For this week. I thought you said I'm grateful for my weed. I'm also grateful for that. You know,
the
shout out to
curveball.
shout out to the plugs. Grateful for the year. I think understanding that, you know, that sometimes things are going to happen when you want it to, or how you have it envisioned in your head. You know, sometimes you envision this, and that, and the third, and you get a version of that. It's just a slightly little difference, maybe a little Easter egg for what we'll talk about later with Insecure. But honestly, I think that it is what it is. I actually had a conversation with mom and pops, and, you know, we're all home right now currently, you know, during the holidays. And that also means that we kind of all in each other's business a little bit. But what dirt off your shoulders real quick though, players. Shout out to Killer K with the merch. We here. Shout out K. You already know, man. I need to get a workout with you, by the way, but we'll set that up at another time. So yeah, I'm just grateful for that understanding, and a little bit to talk about that conversation, because I think it's important for a lot of people or stuff like that. That like you got to, you basically got to, how do I say this? There's not a really quick way to say it. You got to cover all bases, right? Meaning that before make sure that we have first, second, and third covered, and who's ever at bat is at bat and is going to swing, and we have to stick to each other with a family. How does that go into understanding that sometimes you need to understand that there's ups and downs and trials and tribulations that we all go through? Right. And sometimes there's roadblocks, or what you say, things that happen by surprise. We're even talking about saving more money for the rent or, you know, the mortgage, because you need that flexibility, because something might happen. Something might happen to your car, or fuck around, something breaks. You know, the camera, we have to replace the camera one time. Who knows? God forbid. But we need to have that disposable income for stuff like that. So just understanding, what are you grateful for this year, though, Audie?
This year, I am grateful for growth. This year I was able to check some things off of, you know, that bucket list that I have. One of them definitely being getting Bay. You know, that was something that I felt was big as far as growth came, because it not only showed me what is possible as far as like what I can get with the help of my brother, and also like just like how I can accomplish that, and then what I learned just from having Bay and all that I wasn't ready for. I also, you know, went for the first time to an Angie Martinez barbecue. That's another sign of growth for me, because it's something that I had always wanted to do for like the longest. Recently, I have opened up myself vulnerably to, you know, a lot more things in my life. So that's something else that I'm kind of happy that I've done, because I've been a little guarded in the past couple of years. So I'm happy for that. So growth, man, a lot of growth this year. Even though homies got laid off their job, like fired from their job, that was something that to me in itself was a form of growth, because I spoke my truth. And when I spoke my truth, I had to, I guess, deal with the repercussions, but what the repercussions for me were never like, oh man, I don't have a job. It was more along the lines of like, all right, so what we finna do? Like what is the next goal? What is the next what is the next step? What is the next thing that is going to get us to that level? And so yeah, just a lot of growth in 2021. I know, listen, one thing about life is we're not going to stop. Another thing, it's like, I be like, one thing about life, but it's just like life has so many things that are guaranteed. And one of them is you're always going to continue growing. Sometimes whether you want to or not, because there be times where I'm like, I'm tired of growing because you get growing pains. So, things like that. But yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. So make sure you guys go ahead and share what you are grateful for in the comments. That way we know. We love seeing the feedback. I just said this is the last episode of 2021. I want to say thank you to anybody who has tuned into an episode this year. I greatly appreciate it. This is actually the first year that we have ever taken breaks when it comes to the podcast. We took a couple in June, then we took some in like August, I want to say. I don't remember that specifically. And there's been some times and something that I had to I even had to grow in that sense, because I had to sit down with myself and actually tell myself hey, what you are doing is okay. You are not less of a podcaster for taking a couple of breaks throughout the year. And even right now, right before the podcast, we were having a conversation about how we were supposed to already be at 200, and not making it to 200. And I feel like even if we didn't take the breaks, I don't think we would have made it to 200. So the only reason why we're almost at 200 was because I was doing the 2 episodes a week. So yeah, so I was just very hard on myself about that, and being I felt like I didn't accomplish the consistent thing that I normally have accomplished the past 3 years with the podcast. But either way, I feel like when you're doing something with longevity, there's going to be times where you just take breaks. Did the breaks ever affect you in any type of way, or is that just how I felt?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. Sometimes when we take breaks or when we're not doing what we're supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to be doing or what we want to do, we kind of take it hard on ourselves. We're our worst critic at the end of the day. Sometimes we feel like we don't even deserve the break because we're growth wise or number wise, we're not where we want to be. And this is what this podcast is about, actually. It's about when you hit those walls, or, for you to have that ambition to get recharged and go for it, no matter what it is, if it's a podcast, a mixtape, a book, a poem book, things like that. So, and for you to understand that it's okay, going hard. Also, you could go hard, but also go hard on your rest sometimes. I had to a little bit about that with the understanding, back to that gratefulness. I had to understand a little bit, or kind of cut myself some slack and kind of be like, man, okay, granted, it's probably not how we wanted to end the year, unemployed, not
Unemployed.
No. Well, yeah, not stable income, yeah. Right? Because you're making money, boy. Shit. One thing about JAV is he gonna make money, so that's gonna happen, but. Sometimes it's not as pretty as we want it to be. But we have to understand that we have gone hard. We have seen growth. So taking a day off these last 2 weeks, if you want, or a little bit of my step, it's not really 2 weeks. And to be honest, I mean, it's not like I worked nonstop this year. I had breaks too. We went out to Cali. I had vacation time and stuff like that. But it's still good just to unwind, really refocus and recharge, for we could really take over 2022. I just saw a post 2021 was for healing, 2022 is for growth. No, what was it? I don't forgot already. My bad, y'all.
Some people are actually being forced to kind of chill and relax, because the numbers for
this shit it my bad, I keep going.
The numbers is up.
The numbers is up, and not in a good way.
They are not.
Well, at least not the numbers we want up is the ones that are up. It's crazy. It's only getting crazy around here. There's someone that, there's many people that we're close to, actually, that are freaking positive. I was just on the chat on Xbox Live, and they were talking about how this person is double vaxxed and actually got a positive.
That's crazy. Well, the thing is that something that we have to continuously say, and I feel it's because it's something that we forget as humans, is that just because you have the vaccine, it does not mean that you're not going to get COVID. It's just supposed to help with the symptoms, or like, yeah, it's supposed to just basically help the symptoms. Something that I've been seeing across South Florida when I'm driving is the whole vaccine, not vaccine billboards. And with though, it's so funny because it looks like the table is taller than it really is because I'm wearing black.
Oh.
So I just look like it just looks like there's nothing
floating.
Sorry, I had to post.
It's
How to say that?
It's an endless.
It's like the waterfalls, the pools, the infinity.
The infinity pools. Yeah, 2021 was healing. 2022 we winning is what it is.
I know that's right. Well, listen, we was winning since 2020. We were winning since. Shining,
We've been running up.
shining.
We've been running up the budget. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been seeing that the non-vax and vax billboards, and it was just like one of them was like at home, and the other one was like at the hospital. Like not vax is at the hospital, and that's something that's very common. It is with you being vax. That's supposed to be the purpose of it. Is that whatever you would normally experience with COVID, you're not supposed to experience it as much. But who am I?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and just please stay safe. That's what I'm trying to do too. Like, hold on, dude, we gotta play safe. This is becoming uncomfortably close, I guess is the word.
It's very close to me. I'm actually gonna go get tested after the episode because I mean, you guys can see, like, I feel fine and everything, but it's already been 2 people that I'm super close with that got it, so. Changed my New Year's Day plans, so that sucks too because I had plans, even though I wanted to cancel them because after the numbers going up a little bit more and more, you're kind of like, I'm not trying to be outside around people like that, like we could do this another time. So yeah, what do you think about these establishments that know that these numbers are going up and they still continue to be at their regular capacity or not reinforcing the mask wear or some things like that?
Capitalism.
I mean, that's why they're saying that instead of the 10 days of quarantine, that it's only 5 if you're not experiencing any symptoms.
Now, I'm not at all pointing the fingers. I probably wouldn't have managed this situation either, or better, or adequately. But like, if we're being like 100% real, like a lot of these meme shit is real. Like they said, cover the mask, get the mask. The first year, the next year they said get the vax, and now this year they're like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, type of thing. And that is kind of bad. That's why I wonder if we are gonna go on a lockdown. And it's looking like we're probably not, actually.
I don't think we're going to be going into another lockdown, Hav. I'm going to be quite honest with you when it comes to that because I feel like so many businesses lost so much money that they're at this point right now where they would rather lose people than to actually lose money.
Exactly.
And I literally mean like dying, like people dying or like losing employees because they're sick and then they end up having to fire them because or the like, it's just it losing people because it's just like, no, you have to come into work. And it's like, wait, what?
That's the thing, right? And that was the whole thing when this pandemic started. We were wondering how much is a human life because people were just kind of like, well, just the numbers just go, we were saying these numbers just kind of easily. Or just like, oh, shit, we can open up. Like, are we going to open now? Shit, how much does a human life cost to get that extra ticket at the, what is it called now? It's not the AAA arena anymore. It's
the FTX.
The FTX arena.
Yeah. Because that's something else that I've been noticing. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up with this because not what we plan on starting the episode. But it's our reality, guys.
It's unavoidable, bruh.
It is. It's unavoidable.
Unfortunately.
It's inevitable. It's all of that. It's all of those synonyms.
It's all of the edibles. Speaking of edibles. No,
what the fuck? I was going to say, I was talking about the basketball. So the NBA. The NBA is right now, what they're doing is that they're having players take their, quarantine or whatever it is that they have to do. And then they're giving 10-day contracts to some other players that haven't played before.
or like in the G League or
or that are
previously
in the G League
in
or
the
things like
NBA.
that. They're like, coming on up, but it's only 10 days.
They
Not.
didn't tell Jason from the freaking park, hey, come run it with us. They didn't say-
True. They didn't do that either. It's like people that, they are on the teams or whatever. Anyway, but they're doing all that and they're doing the precautions. They once had the bubble and all that stuff. But now when you look at the arenas are packed full of people.
Mm-hmm.
Full of people.
I know. I've been in a couple arenas.
So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up, guys, because Insecure premiered its final episode ever. And I need a round of applause for one of the best shows ever.
And also, big shout out to Issa Rae.
Shout out to Issa Rae.
The showrunner, whose
Prentice
name is...
Prenny. Melina. I don't remember her last name.
The whole cast,
Mitsukas.
staff, the PDs, the lighting department, the costume design.
Even the driver.
The drivers, just
Hair
every
department,
nook and cranny
like
of this
everybody.
episode. Well, yeah. Let's take it back layer by layer. Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and number one start that not only did we get the final episode, but we also got a documentary, which I thought was really dope because we got to experience the show in a different way. Of course, as an audience, we have gotten to see the growth and all of the opportunities that Insecure has presented to a lot of different people, musicians, actors, how Hav said, executive producers, writers, all of that. But with this documentary, we got to see it a little bit more in depth. We got to see, I guess, how many people have actually been affected by this show. And I guess like this conglomerate that Issa has basically done. And something that I read online was that she doesn't have a lane that she just sticks to. She goes into writing, she goes into directing, executive producing, the music, she even does like interviews because she has a sip down or something like that.
Yeah,
with Issa Rae or something like that. So she even does like hosting to where she hosts and does interviews with people. So she doesn't have one lane. She just does it all. So it would be and make sense for people in her team to do the same thing as well. And some things that I've seen on Twitter is just like, oh, think about the time when you first saw an episode of Insecure and then how your life is now. And somebody was saying that she was working at Apple at the Genius Bar and was getting iPads thrown at her. And she was directing music videos on the side. And then she directed an episode for Insecure.
Yeah, and she did some really great videos.
She did.
Yeah, they showed a reel. I forgot what Rihanna video that is, but I actually
No. You're thinking about the director. I'm talking about another director.
I'm sorry.
No. And this is somebody from Twitter, but I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. He's talking about the main director that they got, which is Melina. Melina directed a lot of Rihanna videos, Beyonce videos. She's one of Solange's best friends. Like she's like that type. And she's a photographer as well. So Melina is like she's crazy. But this was like another girl that I found on Twitter, and I want to say her name is Lacey. Hold on. It's funny, someone around you becomes positive, and now you're freaking feeling all the symptoms and shit. Okay, so her name is Lacey Duke, and she was the one who was working at the Apple store at the Genius Bar and was getting iPads thrown at her, which is crazy. But she has done videos for Summer Walker. She's done episodes for Queen Sugar. She's the director who did the video for Summer Walker and the one the X for a Reason. And she's even directed like performances, because I'm seeing here that this is the music video. I don't even know. That Slowed Down.
Right, so she directed a lot of shit.
So she directed a lot of things. I just wanted to point her out because I thought that was cool. So Lacey Duke. So she was somebody, there's been some other people that have come up and have shared stories like that as well. In the documentary, you hear that as well. You hear like, listen, I was doing this when I first like was moved to LA and was just telling them like, hey, I can do this. And she extended her arm and gave people the opportunity. We got to see everybody's last day on set, which that was very emotional. We got to see kind of also like how when she was pitching it, how that was, and how it was the fastest pilot from HBO to have gotten picked up. So that's another thing that I felt was very important. And then I'm happy that they let us know. But guys, Issa stays with Lawrence, and I'm sorry for the spoiler alert. You had time. You had time, and
6 days, I guess.
yeah. So that I instantly thought of 6 Minutes by Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, but that's neither here nor there. And so for me, so many things when it comes to her having picked Lawrence. One, you already knew kind of that that's who she was going to pick. If you've heard me in other episodes, you've heard that I said that I wanted her to be single, that she's going to pick herself, which ultimately she did because she picked what was going to make her happy. And sometimes that means, not being single.
Are you happy right now?
You're asking me, or that's what Lawrence asked her?
Yeah, well, exactly, because you said what
Oh,
makes
are
her
you happy? Yeah.
And he asks her that question of,
You know what's funny is that dudes be asking that question when it's too late sometimes. Of course, we know that it wasn't too late for Lawrence, but it's like I feel like
every girl has a Lawrence. Is that right or wrong?
In the beginning, I had a Lawrence when I first started watching the show, but now I wouldn't get back with him for real. I wouldn't get back with him for real. I'm straight.
So case closed. Yeah, it either had a version of a Lawrence or
It's always that one guy.
Or even with guys, right? We always have that one ex, right?
That
like,
one
oh,
ex
shit, like,
that is
damn.
just like, damn, what if
What if
it just worked, and always make your ways back to each other and things like that. I feel like there's some people that do have that, and I feel like there's some people that don't have that, because there's some people who, since it ended so badly, I feel like Lawrence and Issa ended badly.
Yeah, they ended it real bad. A lot of people, most relationships, they don't even want to talk to that person anymore. Like that.
Yeah.
That is a huge.
Like cheating. That's big.
Fuck, soul crushing. That's
soul crushing. It's soul crushing. It's everything. Like your mind is and so, but every single time that you saw Issa and Lawrence together, you felt this energy. What to me is interesting is that there's an episode where they went to go see The Last Dragon. It was Issa's birthday. I want to say this was season 3.
It's her favorite movie or also Lawrence's favorite
movie? It's both of theirs. Okay. It was both of their favorite movies because they okay, so what happens is that this is like the season finale, and something that I like is that they dig into birthdays. They're really big on birthdays because it was that season that Molly stopped Nathan from going to say to talk to Issa on her birthday. So it was that episode. They go to the movies and Lawrence is there, and Issa and Lawrence see each other for like the first time in a minute, I would say, or I think since Coachella, because that's the same season. So pretty much they see each other and you just feel like this chemistry. And at that time when that episode and all of that was made, they didn't have the ending, it being that Lawrence and her were going to stay together. Like this is something that they decided like late in the game. So every time that you would see them together on screen, you would just say, man, they just work. You never saw that with Nathan. Never. Did you ever think that it would work with Nathan?
That first like skinny dip and like those first couple of scenes with him, yeah.
The skinny dip and then the Coachella episode.
Yeah, before he did that ghost, that first kind of like, what's up with him? She's kind of like waiting by the phone that day.
Yeah.
And she like goes and kind of like creeps into his house type of thing. Like, like ever since then, like, and I guess that's how it is with every relationship in real life though too. It's kind of like these subtle hints in the beginning
that like just tells you like.
So yeah, I would say that honestly, those two characters also were happiest on screen when they were in the scenes together. I don't know if they ever played that way, but like Issa never lit up as much as she did with anybody else other than Lawrence, and same with Lawrence. No matter how many girlfriends or this guy Daniel or whatever the fuck his name is,
whoever the fuck it was,
they weren't as happy. Like
Lawrence always looked happy when he saw Issa and Huck. Exactly what Hav is saying.
I'd be right though. I called Lawrence was going to get his old lady back. I called that.
And, she decided, because one of the reasons why they broke up the second time was because she wasn't down to be, play stepmom.
And I think because the showrunner, he talks about it too. I think that ending of her choosing herself, because now she's finally secure or whatever like that. Like I remember I said something a little bit similar of that effect. I think that would probably been a little too cheeky or a little bit too like, oh, okay, or like we kind of would have been. I feel like the fans that are upset now, they would have been upset if she would have not. There would have been riot. It would have been a riot if Lawrence and Issa did not end up together.
Well, it's kind of like what somebody said that worked on the show said. It was just like, how is our protagonist not gonna have a happy ending with the love of her life? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we all knew that was the love of her life. We saw it like time and time again. Like, because when you're drunk and you call your ex, like sometimes that means something. Like that does, like sometimes we don't want to put any into that, but there is something there when you are intoxicated and you decide to call them, something even warm. If they don't answer. Huh?
Oh, I was saying comfortability and something that's there is warm.
Yeah,
something warm.
It's warm,
Pussy. So yeah,
that'll keep you warm. So I've heard. So like that's just that was just something that I really liked that they did. I loved Molly's ending. Loved it. I don't know, Torian came out in like the third quarter type and like came out of nowhere and just played his heart out, and then was the MVP by the fourth quarter.
He's one of those contract players that's trying to play right now, Claudia.
Oh, put the 10 days and then they want to play long. They extend that contract. And they
turned it around like the whole season too, like for the team. Like now they in the playoffs type shit.
Yeah. No. Torian came in and he was not playing no games. And that was the type of man that Molly needed.
Before we get a little too away, because I was about to forget this, from that fact of like that's why they ended with this. We would have been upset if it wasn't Lawrence. Imagine if I guess this last episode she would have got with the fans who they wanted Issa to get with, who was Crenshaw,
yeah,
right? Imagine they would have done that. We would have been upset and been like, "What the fuck? We don't even get to see him." You know what I mean? Like, or even judge the body language that we see during those scenes with him, and like, buddy ain't Lawrence though. So, yeah, but. Torian, who's a great actor, that guy plays that part great, and I forget what other things I've seen him in, but he's a great actor. And someone else was in this final episode, which was huge for me. It was like I think it was a guy from the barbershop. Who he was just like quick
barbershop and Save the Last Dance.
Yeah,
he
plays
his name is Sean something. He plays like Torian's best friend or brother or something like that.
He's part of like the wedding, right?
Yeah, because he's like the best man in the wedding. So Torian was that man who Molly needed for sure. I felt like she found an equal, and not just economically and career wise, because I felt like that was something that she was pretty big on. But it's just kind of like sometimes like
Torian's her superior now. Don't get it fucked up.
That's a fact. Torian is her superior because he's a partner now. He done made partner and did all of that. And unfortunately, another thing that happens is Molly's mom dies. Mm-hmm. That made me cry. Like, I cried when that happened.
I don't know why this train of thought just hit me, but I'm not sure, or because we weren't sure if or they didn't know at that season 2. That Lawrence and Issa will end up together. I wonder if they had, or when did they come along, or when did this tie in that whole mother passing? Because I wonder. I guess like seeing it now, or like I know you're gonna rewatch the season. Try to see if there's anything there, like kind of. Because I know that mom has a lot of time on. Molly's family is the only family like we really get to know, even more than Issa's family.
Very true.
I would say. So
because we've only seen Issa's, but I want to say it's because. They did very well at introducing Molly's family because they did the whole thing with Dro.
Right, yeah.
It was like, let's bring Molly's family into this. And then because I think another thing that they wanted us to see too was kind of like why she was the way she was as far as like setting standards, because she saw what her parents had and kind of wanted the same thing and things like that. And kind of like, when she finds out about her dad, and then how that kind of like makes her spiral emotionally, and even fall into the arms of her friend who is married, type of thing. So yeah, I felt like Torian was a great and what was funny to me is that I kept seeing him in like pictures and like things like that before the season premiered, and I was just like, dang, is Molly gonna be that invested in work that like this dude is gonna be like, in episodes? And lo and behold, he was a love interest. He then became one of the men secures. That's what they call them, men on insecure.
No, yeah, I always thought from the beginning, or if the season would have ended and he kind of just had like that role, I just would have been like, oh, that's weird, or like,
Yeah.
like, huh, I wonder, like I guess him and Issa have a great relationship because it's almost like that known actor a little bit, at least relatively to the show.
Yeah.
To me, known actors are like I didn't know Issa actually during that whole mad
The awkward black girl.
So I didn't know anything like that. So
what's funny is that I read her autobiography before I watched the show.
oh wow.
Yeah, I found interest in the show after reading her book, I want to say, and I think I read it in 2017. So I've been watching since like season 2. I didn't start from the beginning because I didn't have HBO. But yeah, so there was just a whole bunch of other things. Tiffany moves to Denver. Kelly ends up finding somebody and it gets pregnant, and we get to see some of the characters, and then Issa does like a whole little drive-by in Crenshaw, and you get to see, the dunes, and which is now a Hollywood sign in LA.
You can see Claudia's picture of it if you go on Instagram. Claudia Renee. I
definitely went there, 2 underscores. I definitely went there. It was the first stop when we landed in LA, because I was just like, I think we're close. I don't know why I knew that. Why did we were close, right? It wasn't even like
It wasn't too crazy.
It wasn't too crazy. So
we were already going on, I think, around that side
in that
of town.
area, yeah. So it was just a really cool experience to go with the show. One of the reasons why in the beginning was because it did remind me of a relationship that I once had when I was younger. And I started off the show relating a lot to Issa and that, and then towards the end I started to relate a little bit more to Molly. So because
light flex, but okay.
I started to, because she opened herself up. She was open, and the whole vulnerability. Like, we didn't talk about this episode, but the vulnerability in the closet. Like, that to me was a big moment. That was probably one of the biggest moments that Molly had in the entire show, was her telling this guy, like, I'm afraid that if this ends, like, I'm going to be really hurt because, like, I really like you. And, like, guys, they end up kind of like leaving, or they end up feeling like it's too much, or they end up hating me. And then Torian was just very like supportive of it and was very receiving of it. And I posted this on my Instagram. I just want everybody to be able to experience that, because I feel like that's our biggest fear when it comes to dating. As a single person, you're like, I don't want to get hurt. How do I tell this person that? Like, I'm tired of getting hurt. How do I tell this person that? And then when you finally tell them and they're receptive about it, I think it's just beautiful. So that's one of the reasons why I felt like I was more, I related to it, because I have been, like I said earlier, I have been a little bit vulnerable. So last episode of the year, that was the last episode ever from Insecure. So shout out to, like how Hav said, Issa, all of the people that had anything to do with that. Definitely going to watch now from season 1 to season 5. Going to probably take advantage of that and probably get rid of that HBO subscription.
Two questions
That's a joke.
I know. I have for you, I guess. If you have a chance, or would you do, I guess, what they did with Harry Potter right now, that's going to come out on New Year's Day, what they did with Friends, kind of like not this reunion, or almost like would you want another episode of Insecure 10 years down the line, let's say?
Or like how some people have been saying, the movie.
Or a movie. Would you look forward to that? We're asking the tough questions here on the Ambition Hour podcast. That's just the Vin Diesel of the facts.
I mean, I would like to see, like, you know, how.
Okay.
I would like to.
There.
I would like to maybe see like what happens, but I feel like I'm also content with the ending. Like, I don't feel like they left me like. Okay, so you know, obviously, what's next is Issa and Lawrence are gonna get married. Okay, cool. They're probably gonna have a kid. Okay, cool. I would like more to see more the how she balances it with her current career. How far did she take the block? And then with Molly and even the other characters, like I would like to see what her and Kelly did. You know, Torian, like all the like kind of like that. But at the same time, if all I get is what we just got, I'll be happy with that because I enjoyed that ending.
Next question. Basically, like, what character? If you had to pick a character and give them a side story,
Kelly.
what would that look like?
What would it look like?
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, I would like to see her take her Prentice Preguntas.
Yeah, Prentice Preguntas.
I would like to see her take that on and see how that is. And then I would also like to see her being a mom and her kind of like navigating that.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
yeah, because
right.
she's a mom.
Well,
And then the
we gotta talk about the episode a little bit more. We talked about the wrap up. We gotta talk about the episode a little bit.
the baby was actually at the wedding. Kelly's baby was at the wedding, but what happened was that the actual baby was being too fussy, so he didn't make an appearance. But the baby was there, so she already had the baby at the wedding, at Molly's wedding. So yeah,
Makes sense, yeah. And then one of our other characters is in Denver. So, you know.
Yeah, Tiffany, she ends up leaving. So we get to see that as well because it's her birthday, but she's miserable. It's coming from somebody who has moved from somewhere that they love to somewhere else. You know, I ended up getting out of my misery like a whole bunch of years later, even though now, even during the holidays, it's kind of like.
It only took 12 years to get rid of it. The fuck?
For real. So yeah, you could just get to see like all the characters. But for me, I would definitely love to see a spinoff of Kelly because I felt like she was a character that we didn't get to see really come alive until the end. We didn't get to see like her even like we had seen her do like some things for Issa, like so we kind of got to see like, oh, that's what she does, you know, because she was the one who was helping Issa figure out where she was gonna live while she was sleeping on Daniel's couch.
Daniel.
Yeah, so, and then it was funny because Issa was dating a guy who was a little Daniel looking. He did look like Daniel.
Oh, wait, who are you talking about?
The guy that she was
the new guy. Oh, okay,
yeah, the new guy that she was dating, that Molly was just like, Issa's dating somebody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And she's over there, like, sexy, and she's like, what? Why don't you go? Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah. Something that I also liked was that the last time that we see Issa look in the mirror, no mirror bitch comes up. And that's because she's secure with herself.
Yeah, she's kind of like just talking to herself directly.
Yeah,
right?
she's just like, I think she just looks in the mirror and it's just like a regular thing. Like there was nothing like hyping, nothing like that. I don't know. I love hyping myself up in the mirror, especially after I get ready. That was one of the things that I loved about the show is that, you know, we would see that as a woman. We would see a woman do that. So is there anything else from the show?
Let's see. So, well, we say bye to Nathan too.
We say bye to Nathan.
That does happen. What happens here at the last episode? Well, yeah, Kelly. That's what basically. I just wanted to talk about our four characters. Yeah, Molly.
Yeah, Kelly, Tiffany. Yeah, we got to see, and then Tiffany ends up getting pregnant again because she's pregnant at the wedding.
At the wedding again.
Oh, we had the heart to heart that Issa and Molly have, and like how that is the actual love story. Mm-hmm. The whole best friends thing, and something that I was talking to Hav about, and I'm happy that I remembered this because. You know, Molly is just telling Issa, like, as long as I have you in my life, I know I'm going to be okay. And that's something that I say very often about my best friend, my sister, Stephanie, because I feel like no matter what, no matter who, she's always there. Like, it doesn't matter. And she's the type of person that, like, I fell in love with within 2 weeks. Like, like that's a love story in my life that is a platonic love. It's I just love you for who you are and no matter what, and like till the wheels fall off. And like something that I always tell her, and I don't need to tell her because she sees it. But like I tell her, like, listen, no matter what happens, like I'm gonna be here for you. Like it doesn't even matter. Like whatever nightmare you're thinking is going to happen in the future, I'm gonna be there for you. So that truly is a love story in itself. So I'm happy that we also got to see that, because last season they had a little mishap, you know?
Yeah, we were even talking about on here on the podcast, like, should they even be friends anymore?
Yeah, should they even be friends anymore? Like maybe, you know,
Since their lives are going so
their time, yeah, their time is up and things like that. But then I feel like in this last season, the writers did such a good job at showing us that they in fact were the love story.
Yeah, that was just a weird time though, because she was with Buddy, and like they weren't like communicate. You know, like it was just communicate. Of course, communication could save a nation, and when communication is lacking, shit ends up going sideways.
I think what it was too is that sometimes you're not who you are supposed to be. You are not who you normally are when you're in a situation that you're not supposed to be in. She wasn't supposed to.
Hold on, big dog. I know you're new to the rap, but sometimes you gotta let that bitch breathe.
And I feel like that's how it was with Andrew. Andrew was cool. Andrew listened to her. Andrew,
What were those first two letters, girl? I thought you were about to say another name.
What did you think I was gonna say?
Andrew. Okay. I was making sure we were saying the name.
So Andrew, she was in that.
She was Molly. Okay.
Like, yeah, she was in that situation with Andrew, in that relationship with Andrew. But if you notice, she never had the liberty.
And she never looked happy, like, all the way.
Yeah, she didn't look that happy. And we never got to really see.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a real thing I want to look into. We really do see Molly's we see the inner workings of her family. Molly is a hell of a side character. Like hell, she's a side character.
She's a main character.
She's damn near a main character.
Her and Issa are main characters. Because that was the reason why it got picked up. Because at first it was just only Issa's life. And then she started pitching the idea of like things that her friends were going through, kind of thing. And then they said,
the conversations with her and her friend.
Yeah, her and her friend. And then it was just like, oh, okay, so we're going to bring on this character to kind of like, it's going to be about you two women type of thing. So they're the main characters. Like the main characters, the protagonists are Issa and Molly. So it makes sense.
Sorry, jeez, okay.
Just saying. I'm just saying that's probably why we got to see more of, Molly's family. And we didn't get to see Issa's family like that, because if you've noticed, I felt like even when we did get to see Issa's family, she wasn't that like it with her family like that.
There wasn't no meat and potatoes with those family scenes.
Yeah, because
maybe the brother, that's about it.
The brother, yeah. Well, that's something else. The brother got shine since season 1. Like he had been on a couple of episodes. And Molly was a little bit more family oriented. Like her family was like very important to her.
Because it's like what you said. They go into the mom and dad and their relationship. Mm-hmm. They go into that dynamic. They go into the brothers' dynamic too, and the relationships that they have or that they're in. And then that plays into her childhood. We don't know childhood friends of Issa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only thing that we know is, I guess, her childhood friends will be Lawrence and fucking Molly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
and
I don't know. Insecure, that's why I went a little hard on you like that. Like, Insecure is Issa's show. She's the main character.
Well, of course.
Period. But this second character, I would argue that maybe Molly, especially in a lot of episodes, is the main character.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you that little bit more money on that next check when it comes to trying to. I forget her name, but she doesn't need it. It's something Orgy.
Yvonne Orgy. Yeah.
Respect to this beautiful, talented woman, goddess of a woman. Actually.
Y'all make sure y'all go get her book, Bamboozled by Jesus. Just saying, I read it. Okay, so this is the last episode of the year. I want to talk about albums of the year before we wrap up the episode.
There's only one to talk about.
There was what was the one?
Call Me If You Get Lost. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like that's my number one. I'm surprised that it wasn't one of the highest streams album of the year.
Call Me If You Get Lost. I think it's a tie between Call Me If You Get Lost or Off Season for me. Those are the albums that I've gone back to the most. I don't know. It's because I got that, I got that concert, so I'm trying to perform for Tyler just in case he missed a line. I'm right there, for backup.
You never know.
But you never know if someone hears me. But no, in all actuality, this is an album that I go back to. It's a lot of fun. I think that album was a lot of fun. And then I just saw a recent interview, and there's like a real story. There's like a deep storyline in there too.
And he says it in his performances too. He kind of like takes you through that journey of what the songs are and stuff like that. So that's definitely one of my top albums of this year. Like how Hav said, Off Season is another one.
You saw Cole too in concert.
And I did see Cole in concert. So that to me made the album a lot more better to me. Another one is King's Disease 2.
What do you like? Magic better than that?
I do like Magic better than that one.
I was ready to say that now. That's why I asked you first, I guess, because I think I'm ready to say that too. I haven't listened to, but that's the thing though. Do I like it? That's what I need to, I guess, come up with. Do I like Magic because I heard Magic more, or is this Magic better?
Well, I think that when you listen to an album more than the other one,
because you vibe with it more. Yeah.
Because I listen to Magic way more than I listen to King's Disease. Two, yeah.
Bam.
So I want to say that. Shout out to Hit Boy and Nas for another album in the same year.
That's rap album. Are you saying is that or is that your album of the year?
Oh no. And then another. Well, no, it would be. I will put Magic in that. Albums of the year, because I'm definitely gonna put the Summer Walker album.
Yeah, like okay, let's go to R&B. What about R&B?
And then I have to say the Snow album to me was like very impactful as well. The Snow album. I know there's some other albums that have dropped that I'm forgetting about.
Let me look through. I know Jack Harlow. I don't know if that was last year though. Like that's the thing. Well, Rick Ross also ended the year off with a great project. Big Sean as well. This is things that I recently. Doug album was great. I personally like that album. I think it's his best album.
Big Sean album was good. That was this year that album dropped?
But that's the What You Expect with him and Hit Boy. From the West Side, which is like an EP. From the West Side with Love 3 also came out. Don Toliver, big on that album too.
That was a great album.
I guess you could say, but they have it under pop, the Grammys or whatever like that. But whatever. It's a good album. Let's see what else came out. Willow's album. That gotta take my rock album of the year. Probably the only rock album I actually heard of contemporary punk pop. At least for me. Let's see what else do we got here. No, that's about it as far as new music. Well,
I would say the Don Toliver album was really good.
Give me put all three of those SZA songs that dropped, call it an album, and it's the best album of R&B.
SZA is on some other shit when it comes to her music, man. She needs to drop an album this year. I can also say like Isaiah Rashad had a great album as well. His album was really good.
Currency
dropped some two
albums this year that were great.
Was the Ty Dolla $ign album this year or was that last year?
Oh shit, I don't know. Damn, I think it had to been last year. That had to been last year with the Weeknd and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think those were like my albums.
Oh, but Drake and Kanye, fuck, of course.
I don't pick either. Sorry.
Oh shit, Mike Dean and Rich the Kid. That's interesting.
I don't really have like a one that I can say is my favorite, and the compared to the other one. What about you? Which one do you pick, CLB or Donda?
I'm going with CLB still, just because it's the album I've heard more.
CLB is the album that I've heard the most too, but that's because I really fucked with that that Race Your Mind, the 21 Savage one, and then the song with Thames, the Fountain song. So there's a song that is my favorite from the first listen. It's a song from Magic, because I was having the conversation with somebody.
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak also gave us an album this year, also with Lil Baby, Young Durk. Those albums came out this year. Meek Mill's Expensive Pain.
Woo for the Children one.
Playboy Cardi. Was this year? No, that was last year. Got him. I'm just looking at the top, like on seeing if there's like any albums that we missed. Currency definitely did drop that one.
How much more? Oh, we got 10. Oh, we still have 10 more minutes left. Okay, so album of the year, however, whichever one it was, I think both of us said "Call Me If You Get Lost," but those were like the first album that we both said.
You like that Jasmine Sullivan album too?
I did.
That was
That
this
was
year.
this year. That was a
Uh,
really good album.
That was this year, yeah.
That was a really, really good album.
Yeah. Damn, she's still like, some Walker's still like number 2 on iTunes.
Yeah, no, that album was amazing. That's an album that I've gone back to listen to quite often. Cause I be on like some like Lover Girl shit for like a minute, and then I'll be like, let me listen to some Summer Walker and get out of this real quick.
Oh, we did shoot this podcast on the 30th. So happy birthday to LeBron James.
Also, happy birthday to Mighty Sunshine.
Hey, there we go. And also happy birthday to Carlos, the best barber in Miami as well. His birthday was the 28th.
And Tiger Woods' birthday is today as well, too.
Tiger Woods, also one of my biggest crushes, and she probably doesn't know this, but I'm going to air it out right here. Since I was like about 5th grade, Dios Mary had my eyes. And I wished her a happy birthday this year. And she said something back. So
What'd she say back, Hav?
she said thank you.
Did she say thank you, or did she give you the double tap heart?
Nah, yeah, she was like, thank you. It was like, thank you.
Cute. Dang, Hav said 5th grade?
Yeah. Like,
She married, got kids? What's going on?
you know? You know?
Because you can give that to her.
Yeah. If you happen to be in contact with Dios Mary Vega, I believe is her name.
Not the full name.
Please let her know I've been looking for her and waiting for her since the 5th grade.
Dang.
It might have been the 3rd grade. I don't know. Actually, bro, like, if this is real funny, but like, I don't know if you remember, I did like a Spanish dance show.
Carlos Vives.
Some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was like
Of course I remember.
It was like a solo though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was only me on stage. It was me and her on stage actually.
Oh, wow.
And I love that teacher for doing that because I felt like she made it happen for me. And
She
like,
made it happen.
It was my chance, but I was so shy. I couldn't even talk to this girl.
You know what, Hav? I too have a crush that.
Everybody got their Lawrence. Okay.
Well, no,
I'm
that's
joking.
Because one is the Lawrence and one is the never has happened type of thing.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Daniel.
My dad. Oh yes. No, but they had messed around a little bit.
Well, the friend that never was.
Yeah, let's not get technical with who it is on Insecure, but there
She's
is.
such a fan. She's like, no, not exactly. It doesn't really add up. Dang, all right.
Okay, so we all have that one crush that is like, I wonder, and we have it for such a long time. I feel like I've been letting that crush go the past couple of months because sometimes you just gotta let that one go because sometimes it's a waste of time. It's just like, bro, because there's that whole thing of being shy, Hav. You're like so shy to like.
It goes back to what we saw in that other show that we was watching on HBO.
What is it called? Love Life?
Love Life. Is it?
She was scandalous, bruh. She was
Anna Kendrick. Is that her name, or is
Fucking-
that another one? I think that's another name.
fucking on the
Another
first
actress.
night.
Bro, that's reality though, bro. That would have been some movie shit if they fucking didn't do that shit. But what she says is kind of like you don't have to act up or like dress.
Anna Kendrick. That's
Anna
what I was
Kendrick.
gonna say. Her name was.
Anna Kendrick on Love Life, HBO Max. But she has like this line or dialogue basically like of just saying like, I don't want to have to put up a front or like not having to say the right words or what is right to say. Just go back to that Molly and that comfortability that she had to kind of just talk and say that.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be with someone that you could be comfortable with being yourself with, because if you're just putting up that front, and that's also the thing too. Well, if you're a little younger in the game or you still like trying to impress, sometimes impressing or like just going out for that, and it's like low key a lie, it's super hard to maintain. You're actually not going to be happy though.
Yeah. If you're doing too much, you're gonna get tired.
That's also true too, yeah.
Because if you're doing too much, you're just like.
Well, either you're gonna get physically tired or that bank account gonna get tired. One of the two.
But the thing is that doing too much doesn't even have to come with money. It has to do with like even how you're projecting yourself, how you're acting, how You know, there's times where like we are besides ourselves because we think that though if we act this way that the person is gonna like us more, and it's just like,
or if we dress this way, right? Or like, right, the clothes that we wear, or you know, what do we have on our shoe? What do we have on our feet? That's what she was kind of going through. Like she was like fucking going broke on like trying to switch up outfits to impress this guy who was living like on a top floor suite type shit. So sometimes we do play ourselves like that.
yeah, I feel like there have been times where I have been self-conscious about the things that I wear and things like that. And I feel like when it's the right person, none of that even matters.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the point. That's the point. Like it shouldn't matter. Like, or that it's not, that one thing's not going to make them like you more or like you less. Like they just fucking like you.
yeah, they just like you, like, period.
Like, period. Like
it don't even matter.
if you had, I don't want to say something because people do have some shit wrong with them, but if they like you.
Yeah.
You know, like
they'll like you like no matter what. That's the thing. Like when it's, because real recognize real sometimes, you know, and sometimes
and some of y'all looking unfamiliar.
That's why. That's why you're tired. Homies be over there acting besides themselves. Be just be you.
I was beside myself. I ain't killer, but don't push me now.
Did you say killer?
Again, man, Killer K, get the merch.
For real, this is the second shirt that he has given me. I had gotten another thing that I got to do this year was I got to have my face on a flyer, a strip club flyer, y'all. Listen, I've been wanting one of those for a minute.
And not a single piece of clothing was removed.
And I didn't
event?
have to take off no clothes. I was actually wearing a long sleeve and pants.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Shout out to
there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Listen, Naked Hustle.
The Naked Hustle.
Yeah, the Naked Hustle is gonna be strong till forever.
If anyone know Claudia, we know.
So shout out to Killer K again.
Man.
Shout out to all the guests that we've had this year.
Every single one.
Hasn't been that many because I was doing the.
We had Jax.
We had Jax. We had
a lot of people at the beginning of the year.
We had Jax. We had Steve Dominguez, who is an author in Jax's publishing company. We also had Nikki Bryant. We had Flight and Spitz a couple of times.
Tetris?
We did not have King Tetris this year. We also had Hennessy Is it Williams?
Yeah, Hennessy Williams.
We had him come on as well. And I want to say, we had Detta as well, who is going to be somebody else that we're going to be bringing on because she's just, we were actually talking about her first episode that she came on and did. And she was just saying how there was just so many great things that we talked about on that episode and how so many people related to it. And she was just like, I would want to do another episode kind of like that. Funny fact about that episode, we were both drunk.
The beautiful Detta.
I did my makeup in 15 minutes. We had been at the studio that day and drinking and smoking and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I wanted to share something with you guys because I think it is extremely beautiful. Everybody's doing like their little end of the year wrap up type of thingies. And I did one for the podcast. So let's see if you guys can. Can barely see it, but it's there.
Make sure you go follow the TikTok. Shout out to all the TikTokers.
Guys, I do a similar video like this every year for the podcast, and every single year blows my mind. Like how I'm able to do this for another year, how I'm able to stand in front of a microphone, and how I'm able to just express myself the way that I express myself with no limits, and how everybody is so receptive about it. I'm super grateful for Hav, who every single episode, minus the audio only episodes, has been my audio visual person who has made sure that I not only sound right, that I look right, that the visual looks good. And not only that, he is my co-host and has been my co-host for a very long time. And he delivers each and every single time, whether we have a guest, whether it's just, it's just us two and I may be having a bad day and he just picks up the slack whenever it is that it needs to be picked up, and he's always adding value. And I'm just very grateful that I have someone like Hav, not only a part of my family, but in my team, because right now the team is just us. So I'm very grateful for that. 2022, Hav, listen. Listen.
Real quick. So on a serious tip, for real. Your gangster name is the color of your shirt and the last thing you ate. So my color of my shirt is black, and I had chicken tacos. So my gangster name is Black Chicken Tacos. What about yours?
Black cereal.
Black cereal.
Black cereal is my
Black serial killer.
Black serial killer. There you go.
There you go. And if you're still watching this and made it to the end, not only tell us what you're grateful for, but tell us what is your gangster name.
And another thing, again, we are wrapping up now, is thank you again to everybody who has tuned in. Thank you again to Jav. Thank you to the new listeners, the old listeners, all of that stuff. I just appreciate y'all so much. 2022, y'all don't even know what's about to happen, but we are still in the pandemic. So make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, drink your water, and mind your business. And for the 193rd time in a row, and for the last time in 2021, this is your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves with my co-host, Jav 600 in the building. And we are out. I'm straight.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Bring my check, bitch.